I love being here with you, Sofia City. I love being in the biggest Bulgarian city on the planet. Yes. Only Chicago can compete with us. It's true. I don't know if you've heard this. Sofia is often called like the Bulgarian New York. Have you heard this? Yeah. Anybody believe that? Do you believe that? Yeah. Yeah. I don't buy it at all. You know why? Because I went to New York. Nobody ever told me, you know, we're the Sofia of America. I talk to foreigners in Sofia City all the time, and I gotta stop doing it, I swear to God. I was near one of those new traffic lights that we have, the ones that go k, k, k. And this foreigner next to me goes, what is that sound? And I explained to him, oh, that's a traffic light for the blind. And he goes, oh, you guys let the blind drive? I can easily stop talking to you guys, but you're already here. You start talking to us. I was near the bar the other day, and this foreigner comes to me and he goes, Have you been to Devetashkata cave? And I'm like, no, I haven't been. And he's like, oh, why haven't you been? It's amazing. What about St. Ivan Dagilski Church? It's partially submerged in water. And I'm like, I've seen photos online, but I haven't been in real life. Oh, why haven't you been? It's amazing. You should go. And I'm like, you know why? Because I live here. I work here. Have you been to Topofikacja? It's amazing. You should go. I'm a father now. Thank you. Thank you. I have a child. I'm a dad. I have a kid. His name is Yasin Deyanski, which means that in England he's going to be called obviously Deyanski. In the States his name would be clearly Deyanski. I gotta tell you guys, I love my kid. I love my kid so much. I finally understand what everybody with a dog has been talking about. It's fantastic. It gives me great privilege now that I'm a father. I can finally go in any park or city garden and just stand in the middle of it and just start yelling, eat the whole thing. Put the whole thing in your mouth. Open your mouth. Swallow. Look at me in the eye and swallow. I want to see an empty mouth. Don't eat that. I share a lot of experiences with my kid. I went to the pediatrician's office with him this week, and I was left alone with the lady at some point. So I asked the difficult questions. I said, listen, I'm the penis manager in our home, so let's talk about his hygiene. Do I wash him with cold water, still water, heavy water? What are we doing here? She's writing something in her notebook. She doesn't even recognize me. She's like, he has to have a fashioned penis like any other man. And I'm like, yeah, he will have a fashioned penis. And then I'm like, wait a minute. This lady is over 70 years old. She hasn't seen the contemporary penis. She doesn't know that he doesn't come with a fashion and French manners like, bonjour, would you like a tachak? No, the contemporary penis comes, dick pic. A lot of people complain, oh, I got such a nasty dick pic. Just the worst one. Oh, just such a nasty dick pic. Of course it's going to be nasty. It's a dick pic. Good penises don't take pictures of themselves. You don't want to take a picture of it, guys, and send it to her. You want her to take a picture of it and send it in the group chat. I can hear some people are not enjoying that joke, and that's because they're not in any group chat. In Bulgaria, our favorite weather forecast is that it used to be better. Преди беше по-добре, right? The olden times. So much better. I'm never going to say that. You know why? Because the further back you go in time, the worse it gets. For the first people in time, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to die from this. What is this? What is this? What is this? A cave. Go inside. Go inside. Light the fire. Light the fire. And then someone took one chalk and wrote in the cave, it used to be better back in the day. You know what? I'm not ever going to say that because I don't see myself growing up and advertising now in the future. I'm not going to be an old guy going, you know, back in the day, Despacito, this was the music. In Bulgaria, we're all about the homemade. What is this rakia? It's homemade, it's the best one. What is this wukanka? It's homemade, you've never tried this. Can you imagine if we were such connoisseurs about our porn? Do you watch porn? Only homemade? My uncle sends me DVDs from Velizar. If I don't see at least 4 cousins on the thumbnail, I don't even open it. The olden days. I've lived through the 90s. I survived the 90s. Anybody else survived the 90s here in Bulgaria? Yeah, we don't clap to that. We just show one arm. Some people are like half an arm, like, this too. I survived it with you. And nowadays, there's so much nostalgia. Like, you guys have seen this too. Nokia 3310. Yeah. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming back. People are excited. All my friends are like, yeah, man, that Nokia used to have a battery life of 4 days. And I'm like, and what are you going to do with it today? You're going to play the Snake for 4 days? You know what never happened during the 90s? Someone would go up to someone and be like, come on, man, get off your phone. You're on that thing all day. And they'd be like, wait up, I'm reading my contact list. Anybody like to travel with BDG, the Bulgarian, the national, the infrastructure? It's the trains. Yeah. I travel with BDG. I enjoy BDG very much. I was traveling this week with them. In our little booth, this gypsy fortune teller comes. And she walks in our booth, and she goes to my friend, and she goes to him, you're going to make a lot of money this year. And guess what? He's a programmer, so he is going to make a lot of money. And then she goes to the other guy, and she goes, there's 2 women that love you. He recently broke up with a girl to get engaged to another woman. And I'm like, all right, this girl is a professional. She comes to me, and she goes, what is your name? And I tell her, Dimmy. And she goes, you have a very nice haircut. My grandma... Sorry, I mixed that up. My wife... Live show. No, but my grandma does. She does have a new boyfriend, and yeah. Grandma. Yeah, she's a player grandma, right? And she has a new boyfriend, and I go to her house, and the stuff is different now because suddenly she has 2 plasma TVs with all the cable, with all the channels, and up until recently she was excited about having channels beyond channel 4. So now she has all the cable, all the plasma. It turns out her boyfriend is a soccer fan. But they're both elderly people above 75 years old, so they can't really deal with like remote controls and interfaces and like buttons and stuff like that. So they just printed out the entire schedule of their program on A4 paper on their living room table, and they stuck it with transparent duct tape. So now when I visit my grandma and I eat my favorite soup, I eat it and I get to read Channel 52, Fashion TV, Channel 53, Porn, Channel 54, Porn, Channel 55, Porn, Channel 56, Porn. And I have to go, you know what, Koicho, what are your intentions with my grandma? Because I think she's a virgin. Right? Everybody thinks their grandma had sex once to make their parents, and that's it. But when you ask them about the olden days, they're like, it used to be better. And they don't get specific. My mom is married to a Dutch Canadian, so my grandma started learning English in order to be able to speak to her new son-in-law, right? So she studied English for 3 years in order to be able to speak to him. He found out that she's studying his language, so he's humbled, and he's like, oh my God, that's amazing, I gotta meet her. And he wants to meet her so they can finally speak in the same language. And he comes to Bulgaria, he meets her, and he's like, hello, how are you? Are you having a good, are you okay? Do you enjoy this venue? Are you having a good time? And my grandma just goes, nah. Yeah, the olden time used to be better, the olden time used to be better. My grandma told me of the times when we got toilet paper for the first time in Bulgaria. As a tool, not as a need. We used to shit ourselves during communism too. It's just we didn't have toilet paper. She's like, yeah, we didn't have it. Your grandpa had to cut huge squares out of newspapers and go with them to the washroom. And then suddenly I was like, Atsu, you don't have to do that anymore. We have this. And she whipped out the first roll of toilet paper. She showed it to my grandpa. He saw it and he goes, ha, that's just for girls. Now, you guys don't know my grandpa, but I can guarantee you that he spent at least 15 years of his life scraping his ass with cardboard just not to be girly. It's true. I used to be superstitious. Anybody superstitious with us today? Superstitious? It's good luck to confess, by the way. You're gonna find something today. I used to have lucky boxers. And on important days, I would wear all 4 pairs at once. And such an important day turned out to be the day when my family was applying for visas for Canada. But it turned out there's a medical exam. And you got to get undressed. So I go in there and I start getting undressed. And I show my boxers. And I take them off. And then there's a second pair of boxers. And I take that off. And there's another pair of boxers. And so I'm taking that off. And there's a fourth pair of boxers. The medical lady just takes her stamp and she goes, boom, approved. I've never seen more prepared people for Canada before. By the way, when I lived in Canada, my friends from Bulgaria would send me homemade CDs with content. Yes, there was pornography on them. Which means that at some point they were at home and they were going, you know who would enjoy this? I used to work as a waiter in Canada. I was a waiter in a weddings venue. And the entire staff was Serbian. Our boss was Italian, and it was just me and another Bulgarian. And then this one time, we have our biggest client ever come in the venue. They want everything. They want us wearing gloves. There's going to be choreography. They want the Canadian flag and the Croatian flag and the national anthem of Canada and Croatia. They signed the deal, and as the client is leaving, he just goes to our boss. Needless to say, we wouldn't want any Serbian people serving at a special event. And then our boss is like, yes, no problem. And he's wondering what to do, and he figured it out. He's just going to make new name tags. He made new name tags. He gives us the name tags. We're doing the weddings. We're wearing the gloves, the choreography. They're playing the national anthems of Croatia. All the Serbians are grinding their teeth. But the wedding is going cool. Everything is fine. Until suddenly, one of the guests smells Serbian blood. And he goes to one of the waiters. Excuse me, my friend. Where are you from? And then Nenad, who has never spoken English in Canada, suddenly starts speaking. And he goes, Azerbaijan. And his name tag says Raymond. Guys, my name is Dimmy, and this has been my time. I want you to give a good clap for the next comedian tonight, Andre.